With this video, we will be doing Katt Williams Goes At It again. And if you want to help this channel and the content that we making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow. The only way I'm going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Willie D live. You know who Willie D is? You know
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Katt Williams.
Katt.
What's up, King?
He on this Tupac-ish right now.
Oh, man, one more hop, I'll be on top. How
Prepare
about
for
you?
your hop. Doing great. Doing great.
Yeah, you're doing great, man.
It's a big old change.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio.
When you, I mean, see, my bad. You were born in Cincinnati.
Yep.
And then you were raised in Dayton.
And raised in Dayton, correct.
Man,
Always balling.
You know, we had a show in Dayton once, and it almost like provoked a full-blown riot. You know, in Dayton, they had these cops with these big old 10-gallon hats.
They did.
Big old white cornbread-fed dudes. And
cornbread
they
fed.
were telling us, you got to either pay for all of this equipment
these
that y'all
cornbread
destroyed on the
fed
stage.
dudes.
We destroyed, allegedly, we destroyed equipment, band equipment that belonged to After 7 and Troop.
Oh, my.
We were on the same ticket
Yeah.
as After 7 and Troop. We destroyed their equipment.
Allegedly.
And they told us, y'all gonna
Allegedly.
pay
You got
for
to put
this
that
stuff,
allegedly on there.
or y'all going to jail.
Y'all
So
going to jail.
we basically just did the show for free because we gave all that money back. But Dayton will
He said y'all
forever
going to
be
jail.
like
Take the money.
embedded in
it's
my
a free show.
memory.
Don't worry about it.
Dayton, Ohio.
No mix up.
I'm sorry
What
that
do
you had
you
a bad
remember?
memory.
Y'all going to
What do
jail.
you? I mean, what are some good memories that you have from
That's
Dayton?
crazy.
Part of what you remember is a part of Dayton. So Dayton was one
You
of
won't get locked up out
the
there.
rare cities in America that was legitimately half black and half white.
black, half white.
There was power on both ends. I came from a very powerful family in Dayton just because of our sheer numbers. So there were
It's always about numbers.
13 on my father's side and 7 on my mother's side. So
We was deep.
I had like 100 first cousins in
we was
one
deep.
city. Like we
was deep.
had a large family, and it was a great place for black people, and it was a great place for white people. It's just that you really couldn't be legitimately racist because your neighbors were of another color.
Right.
If that makes sense. So,
What's the power dynamic? Is it mostly white?
It's like it's really not a reason to be racist because we know it's a lot of stereotypes out there. But when you live in next to people and they don't fit the stereotypes, you don't even. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all get along. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know if they need a cup of sugar, they could come to your house. You need a cup of sugar, you know they go to your house. That's just how it used to be. It's not like that really no more. But when I was coming up, it was more like that. We'll go to our friend's house and be there all day with their parents. So stuff is just different.
Yeah,
now.
but plus, like from the other side, like I'm hearing what he's saying, like as like if you had all people who look like you in the neighborhood, it makes more sense to be like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
but if
saying.
the people next to you
Don't look like that or act like that.
Yeah, it's like
Don't fit the stereotypes.
Nobody looks the same. Like
Yeah.
that's a dumb place to have a position
Yeah.
in your mind where it's like everybody should be like this. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
White people running it or black people?
well, that's the dynamic of America at that particular time.
Yeah, it's a different time.
Yeah.
One of my uncles was the chief of police. Another was the head pastor in
You talking
town.
about probably before the crack era. You know what I'm
We
saying?
had some cocaine dealing uncles as well. So we were really rooted in the city, but it was a city of money. So we had
Everything.
Cooper tires, we had Dayton tires, we had
Abundance.
IBM, we had NCR, we had Wright Patterson Air Force Base, we had University of Dayton. These are all places where you can make 6 figures even at that time. So
Booming.
it was a lot of money there. As far as on the radio, we would hear
everybody was
every hour 5 or 6 artists that were from where we were from. Yeah. So we thought that was a part of it. We hearing the Ohio players, and Roger Troutman in Zapp's studio is our bus stop when we're 7 years old. Like, so
he thought we was outside.
I met Prince while I was in Dayton when I'm 12. Like, it was
that's how it used to be, though.
Very vibrant.
It used to really be like that. That when you used to go to other cities, you hear their artists on the radio. But now it's like all the radio stations, no matter where you go, are all playing the same exact artists. And it didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, it actually make it almost more fun to travel places.
Yeah, because you could hear different music.
Yeah.
Now it's the same songs being played on repeat over and over again.
Brent community.
On the right there, you might catch the same playlist.
So you saw a lot of the street stuff.
I went over 2 time zones and they still listen to the same thing.
First of all, did you end up doing any of the street stuff? Participating in any of that street activity? You mentioned your uncles selling drugs and all of that.
Well, I leave Dayton, Ohio right before I'm 13. So I'm still at a young age. I'm just having heightened experiences because of my childhood and my background. So
makes sense. We got money.
Like I don't. Like I've always
we
had
got
money,
and we deep as hell.
but I don't come from money. So I was able to cut grass in the summer and I was able to shovel snow in the winter. That's what I was allowed to do. So, but consequently, even as a kid, I'm making like $6,000-$7,000 a year. And this is
at 12 years old?
Before that. At 10. At 10. Just
so just make that sense that he could his work ethic that he got from a young age, and it makes sense that even though what they would call like blackball, he was still getting to the bag without the machine because he was always getting to the money without the machine.
Yeah,
so.
he was programmed
early
to drive and keep working.
Yeah, do it on my own.
Yep.
Just because that's what I was allowed to do, and I'm a hustler by nature. Like
right.
If I get a hold of a lick, I want to see how many times it flips, not if it flips. You know what I mean? So,
makes sense.
Once I'm gone from there, I'm trying my hand at other things, door to door, and I had already made $1 million before I was 18, doing door to door across the country. So I had already tested out what were the positive things about me and how I could use that to my advantage economically.
Right.
From an early age.
Is it true?
And that's what I'll be saying. Like, part of the game is just figuring out what you do better than other people, what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Once you figure out what you're good at, then you can start figuring out how to make money off it. But until what you realize what you're actually good at better than everyone else, then you're never gonna. It makes it harder to figure out what you're gonna do.
And it's also like what you're good at. You're better than everybody else. That's just natural to you.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't even gotta work at it. You just wake up and that's you.
You just happen to work at it, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like that helps
a lot.
Who that you emancipated yourself from your parents at 13? Because I read that somewhere.
Well,
Wikipedia said something like that.
I wouldn't shame the family. What I would say is that it can't be called run away because I didn't run away. I left, but I don't tell that part of the story just because there's a zero chance that if a young person listens to me and follows my example on that they'll be okay.
Right.
But I knew I would be, but I was a little off. Like I knew Jesus left home at 13, so I didn't feel like I was out of pocket in any way.
Wait a minute.
Damn.
Are you saying that
talks about mentality.
At 13 years old you was cognizant of the story of Jesus leaving home at 13 years old?
I had been accepted to college before I was 12, so I was already a little bit more advanced than
a lot of people.
Your average child. I had probably read 10,000 books at that period in
I probably read
my
10.
life. So I was blessed in that way. But as you know, you can't really just live on that. So God navigated where I was able to see the underworld, if you will. So I go from my parents' house in Ohio to Miami, Florida by myself. I don't know nobody. And that's where the story begins. But
in your formidable years, who is that person? Was that
13
a single
going to Miami,
individual
we out here.
who inspired you, or some guy or a person that you looked up to and you said, you know, I like the way that they move and I want to model myself after that person?
Yeah, this is going to be a weird answer. Yes, that's one of the things that I was probably the best at. I did it with anybody and everybody. So when I was going to the library, I wasn't reading fiction books. I was reading nonfiction books, and it didn't matter what it was. I know whatever's in this book, I don't know what it is. So I might have read like 1,000 autobiographies, just the life of people that I don't know. And when you do that, you find out that if you were trying to learn something from everybody, you could actually learn something from every single person that you met. And so it's that type of thinking that helped me avoid the pitfalls as I saw them. So the reason
And it's like, I always looked at stuff like that. Even when people be like, yo, I've been in a bad relationship. I'm like, it's not such thing as being in a bad relationship. You actually learn something from that relationship. Anybody you come around, you should be able to learn something from them. Everybody got good and bad qualities. Even if they bad qualities outweigh their good qualities, they still have something you could pick up from them or learn from them or sponge from them when you was around them.
Yeah, because other than that, you're just kind of like, I guess for me, looking at it like that would be kind of like putting life in perspective. Because other than that, you're just wandering around like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What's next? Who's that? Why did they do that to me? Why did I let that? Like, you got to kind of have more control over what's going on for yourself.
Yeah, you got to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, so you got to be out there.
Facts.
I never did drugs when I was an adult is because when I left and went to Miami and I'm living in a park, it's 30 people out there from all different places, and they all are homeless and in a terrible situation just like me. And they telling me that they used to be lawyers and doctors and nurses, and I'm going, well, what happened? And all of them is telling this story where everything in their life was fine, and then they dealt with this drug, and this is where it ended them out. So as a kid, I never saw the fun part of drugs. I never heard about nobody having a good time on drugs.
And I know exactly what he's talking about. It's because when I always see fiends that did coke, dope, whatever, and I seen how they look, I'm like, I don't want to be that. So I never even tried that stuff because I knew that if this is the end result, I'm good.
You see the end result. Yeah. It's different. That's what I'm saying, and reading about it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When you see somebody floating on the corner.
That's not how I want to be.
You know what I mean? It changed your...
Especially like how Philadelphia is right now. You see like the videos. It's like, why would I want to?
You see it.
I'm not trying to join that.
Yeah, that's not the team you want to be part of.
Nah.
Or, oh, you got to take this so you can feel it. I didn't see it from that way. Right. I had already seen what it would do to people.
Facts.
And they're telling me, like, I'm letting people tell me, hey, don't do this. Don't get to Hollywood and start sleeping with white women and doing cocaine because it'll kill you. Oh, yeah, no problem.
No problem. Got it.
So, in a lot of things, I was just stupid enough to get the lessons, but that came from being willing to learn something from everyone.
Yeah. How long were you out on the streets?
Well, it sounds so harsh when you say on the streets. Just understand that I'm in slacks and a shirt and a tie every day, and I'm eating at a 5-star restaurant because I done worked this deal with the restaurant where I come in at 5 in the morning and I come and do the floors and clean up everything the bus people didn't do, knock out the old dishes. I do all of that, but I get to eat there for free. So I come later and have a 5-star lunch as a 12-year-old. Because I'm already smoking cigarettes, but I got a mustache, so I don't look out of place. And then I go and I do my 8 hours in the library to take the place of what schooling would have been.
Wow.
So
self-educated.
2 hours were spent collecting radios from people's cars at the marina, which funded me to at least have $700 or $800 a week in my pocket. So that was the situation for, I'll say, 12 months.
Was there somebody who came along, a social worker or something like that?
I like that one.
I could get extra for this one.
Yo, talk to you, like, yo, I can help you out. Or you should do this or that.
No, you're looking at it a different way than I was looking at it. I wasn't in a pitiable situation by any means.
By any means.
I was free. And it was an adventure that I was on.
A learning experience.
And I had already read all of these books. I know how this goes. I know that a terribly scary adventure is nothing for the warrior. He doesn't need to be in a good position. There is a God, and he's going to see you through. You just have to make sure that you're hitting the marks to qualify for the blessing. So I was never in a situation where...
I never heard it put like that, but I like the way you put it. You just got to hit the marks to get your blessings. The blessings going to keep coming. I like that. Just keep hitting the marks.
Someone would think that I needed some assistance.
Where were you sleeping at?
In the park that I told you about, across the street from the library in Coconut Grove.
Like on the ground, on the bench?
On the ground?
No, yeah, a mattress out there. I had money, so people would get you stuff.
Why didn't you just take your money and go get a crib?
At 13?
At 13?
It never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Never crossed my mind.
Because I really do. I know it's young, but I do know people who are very young. If somebody is young enough to go out on the streets and just say, I'm leaving home.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and if they got money, they're savvy enough to
it's not
get
that I
somebody
have
to
money.
pay them.
I'm making some money.
Right.
I don't have money. I'm making some money.
Enough to get by.
Well, I'm saying I don't have a long list of needs on the daily. I need to eat well. I need to drink well.
And where are you keeping your money?
I need to eat well and I need to
am.
drink well.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right, though.
Anybody ever try to rob you?
No, I did have somebody try to violate me while I was out there.
Damien, I'm a
I think
boy.
because I didn't know really what gay people were. So I wasn't really clear. I knew how gay people acted as I had seen, but I wasn't aware that it had a sexual connotation to it. So as soon as the guy kept talking to me like he liked me,
like he liked me,
I was really confused because guys don't like guys.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out, is there something about your background that makes you talk like a lady while you're talking to me? But yeah, I had that as a situation. But other than that, no, I wasn't frequently tried as a young person.
Yeah. So I'm asking some of these questions that I'm asking because I'm really trying to figure out, like, how did you develop your psyche? Like, you're a very insightful dude.
Right.
Just trying to figure out, like where did that start at? Can you
born with
pinpoint
it.
a specific time and space
It's God
where
given.
you said, I get it. I see what's going on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Lit
yeah.
something up.
Probably like 5 years old.
Consider 5. I knew I was gonna be great.
First and foremost, this is going to sound really, really weird, but I believed at that young age that you could have a relationship with God. And I know that that's kind of old-fashioned now. But
Dang,
when I was young,
that's crazy.
That's what I believed.
No.
And so I developed this relationship where we talk 4 or 5 times a day and we talk about everything, and I'm coming to you when things are well and when it's not well. And if I ask for something, I know when you gave me what I asked for, because it's the only time. So I understood at a young age that I wasn't like everybody else, that I was in a blessed position, and that I had the ability to be able to make things happen.
Yeah.
Manifest.
If I could find the instructions and follow them. So at 5 years old, that's how I thought. I knew when things were wrong with the Bible. I wasn't worried about.
That was just, he's giving out gems. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you can do whatever you want. You just got to figure out how to do it. And once you figure out how to do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Just figuring out or finding instructions.
Authority, because God
Say it again.
The execution of the instructions, you gotta execute it.
Facts.
was like the authority, and other than that, I gotta tolerate you, but
Facts.
I'm not allowed to bow down. I'm like that as a child. So my parents didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted me to live a life that I wasn't going to live. They wanted me to be this, and I was not free to live a double life. I can't be that and be what I'm trying to be.
What was that they wanted you to be?
Whoever knew Katt was such a great speaker.
Right.
A part of their religion.
Mm.
They were very
that
devout in religion.
Christian.
Yes, a branch of Christianity, yes.
At one point, did you become a Muslim?
At one point, I became several religions, because that's the only way you can really find out what's going on in a religion. Religion is not something that you can just study the books about it and now you know about them. I had to be a member of the Fruit of Islam in order to know. Minister Farrakhan calls me.
I get everything he's saying because I feel the same way. I can relate to a lot of stuff, but like he's saying, like unless you know what the other religions are teaching, how do you know what to base your thought process on? So it's just nice to know what everybody's teaching and what everyone's thinking, and then make your thought process off of that. Once you know what everyone's teaching, and then you can know where you want to go. Because when you coming up, we all just a religion our parents give us. If your parents Christian, you're gonna be Christian. Your parents Muslim, you're gonna be Muslim. So when you get older, I know when I got older, I was sort of like, what do they teach? You know what I'm saying?
Explore, you want to find out for yourself, so you're gonna try different things. But it's not like going to try a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this was good. Oh, it's good on Monday, not good on Tuesday, Wednesday, all right.
Right, yeah.
Like, nah, it takes some time. You got to really get into those type of things whenever you're talking about anything spiritual.
Right.
And I understand that, like, you know what I'm saying, when you're trying to find something that's right for you, just being like, all right, well, let me put some attention here and give this some time. Yeah. So it definitely would change the way you think about something like that. Definitely. I mean, for me, it would.
Yeah, definitely.
To me, his son. I was not regular even in that endeavor, just because whoever the true God is, I don't play about him. Facts. And I understand that regardless of what you choose to call him, it's the same entity. Right. And once you study all of the religions, you find out that nobody's really disagreeing with anybody.
No, they're not.
The Jews don't believe this whole set of things that Christians don't, and Muslims either.
Why are people so afraid of Farrakhan?
Sorry, I smoked to that.
Well,
I smoked to that.
If you had the ability to control the black people on this planet, there isn't anything that you couldn't take, dismantle, destroy, or interrupt if you could mobilize black people. And so part of the ops agenda, a part of their modus operandi, is to find out which one of you niggas is a potential leader. And if you are, then we begin a work of progress on your life, which will make people get off of that. It's a part of it, as much as
Yo, this guy is crazy.
You're trying to figure out which way this dude is likely to go, so I can rip that ball. It's the same.
And it was a statement from, I think it was the guy from the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover. When he said there'll never be another black prophet among y'all, and if it is, it'll be one that we will give to y'all. You ever heard that quote? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's exactly what he's talking about right here. You know what I'm saying? They find out who's the leader, or you the leader. Not no more.
Shut that down.
Not no more.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
Farrakhan is a polarizing individual. A lot of people really, I do believe, don't really understand him. I think that there are people who gets the message. This is what frightens them, is because they know, as you alluded to, they.
That remind me of Malcolm X. You see the Malcolm X movie? Just at Washington, when they was in front of the police station or something, and he was like this, and he pointed. Then everybody said doot doot, and they started walking away, and they was like, "How does one man got all that power?" That's what he's talking about. You feel what I'm saying? He was able to mobilize people, just point
his finger and just closing his thumb.
It's crazy.
They know what he's capable of doing. You know, uniting black people and guiding and leading black people in the right way.
There's not been a successful one of those yet.
Nope.
So just like if you're a rapper, any rapper can get hit. Yeah, we don't have we can go through 300 years of history and look for all the black people that fit the description you just said.
Yeah.
They never make it.
Yeah. Which is why I believe that they should stop trying to make it. I really do believe that
that's why we still talk about
each one reach one, teach one, but the leadership is in yourself. Like all of us are capable. Well, not all of us, but many of us.
But it's like, even none of them got to where they should have got. The next person pick up the mantle and carrying it, because throughout the 300 years, there's always somebody up next. Yeah. It never stopped. It just stopped with that person. Somebody else picked it up. Somebody else picked it up. And that's where we are right now, where people are getting information, and what we call a lot of people just waking up to everything that's going on because of the work they put in this time. You know what I'm saying?
Because at this point, it's like, there was a moment where it felt like people were like, I don't want to. Like, now it's like, no, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You should.
Yeah, you should.
You should take this information and do something with it.
Yeah.
Like, don't just walk around bumping into stuff, not knowing what's going on. Turn the light on.
We don't do that.
Are capable of being a leader. Like, instead of sitting around just waiting on one person to be that leader. You know,
well said. Well said. But in real time.
Exactly. Who's equipped?
Being the leader of yourself gets you nothing. The people demand to be led, regardless. There's not 13 shepherds and all these sheep. Right. Why? Because it's unnecessary. Just one,
unnecessary.
Just one that has the connection with the sheep, which allows the sheep who has a brain about that small to be able to just focus on eating grass and not worry about falling off a cliff. We have the desire as humans to be led. We want to be led into battle. We want to be led into the football game. This is all because this is how we are wired. The cheerleaders and the pomp and circumstance, that goes back to the times of first humanity, because we do need that.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about a myriad of leaders. You're not just talking about a single individual.
Right.
And I see a lot of people.
I'm glad we actually doing this. I'm seeing how well versed Katt Williams is, because you really can't see how somebody think or what their perspectives are from a movie or stand-up comedy, like you can from an interview with just them talking for an hour, and you get to see how they thought process, how they think, what they went through, how they get to this, how did they make 1 + 1 = 2, and it's like. It's a dope mind in front of us is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like everything he's saying. His perspectives on the situations, and just really you're seeing ideology in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a way he's moving, and it's really based off principle and morality and what's right at that moment.
Right.
From how I'm seeing it.
Right. I'm pretty sure he opened some eyes. Like some people never even thought about that. Like, dang, last 300 years, none of them did make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just that little perspective, I'm pretty sure opened somebody's eyes.
Just be sitting back waiting on a Messiah. They're waiting on that one person.
But they are too, though.
Who's that?
The other side is far more diligent about looking for that Messiah than we are.
Right.
Because they know where to look. Right. You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
Right.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still going to be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. Right. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Right. Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off. No chins missing. No, just the nose.
Just the nose.
Because it's a brand. It's a brand. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead.
You have an uncanny way of thinking outside of the box, and you are very good at breaking things down, like you just did. Right. You understand consequences.
His word selection is immaculate.
Okay.
So,
because you only could use certain words to describe this, and he's done.
Why are you such a habitual line stepper? Why do you cross that line so often when you know what the repercussions and consequences are going to be, and they're not going to be favorable to you? For example,
right.
I saw.
That's funny. Willie D said the same thing that Shannon Sharp said. It's like, yo, you're gonna be canceled. You're gonna be this, da 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 da. But he's not really saying nothing that you should even have that opinion. That you know what I'm saying? He's not saying nothing that's wrong or nothing out of bounds, nothing crazy, nothing anti-Semitic.
Yeah, he's not saying anything that he shouldn't be allowed to say. He's just speaking his mind. If you get canceled for speaking your mind, then the hell with you. You know what I'm saying? And I respect what he's saying because I feel the same way. Like you should be able. That's your freedom.
Right.
That's your right. Does it make it okay?
Where you and Suge got arrested, right?
Man.
You and Suge got arrested. Is that true?
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Okay.
Like,
allegedly.
And
what were we doing?
Allegedly, it had something to do with like some type of photography, camera or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just sure. I'm just saying this is what I read.
I'll tell you the story, and you tell me. Then does that change how you frame this?
Okay.
So, we have a meeting with a hologram company, which is going to go into a licensing deal on some holograms. This is in Beverly Hills. So now there's a rodeo, and behind that is an alleyway where you park your vehicles. Mm-hmm. That's where we are. Mm-hmm. Suge has brought his son with him, who's 5 years old. And before we go into this meeting, Suge's son runs behind the dumpster and urinates. Mm. And a lady films his penis out, peeing behind the dumpster. Mm-hmm. And then says, "Oh, I thought that was Katt's kid." Mm. So yeah, that's what happened.
Damn. See, man, this is
so understand. We were facing 20 years, Suge and I. 20 years for that. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is Beverly Hills and it's all on camera, they had no problem sending us up the river when we couldn't have possibly done what was being said. That lady said that she got jumped on by me.
So you see what you just did? You just clarified
I never heard about
a
that.
huge misconception about, the events of that evening or whatever.
Yeah, but remember, it went to court. Yeah. Like, this isn't just my word. They had to play the video in court, which showed that her altercation wasn't with a man at all.
But the trip part about it is that when people print it, when the media, mainstream media put it out there, they don't add that piece.
No, nor do they make a retraction. Right. Nor do they say, hey, that thing we told you about that guy, turns out it was nothing. Understand.
It was nothing.
I got 15 cases that were dismissed. That should be talked about. Why would 15 cases be dismissed?
Facts.
Right.
Because you were so sure you had what you were looking at. Because every city I go to, I'm the nigga with the best car. It's probably smoke coming out that car. It's probably girls gathering around that car. Right. I look like the plug. I get it. And you've probably already hurt me by the time you find out who I actually am.
Right. See, because of that clarity you just provided,
I look like the plug.
It's the reason why I want to know. I think the world want to know what happened between you and Ali Sadiq. I know you said
the
you
world
talk
couldn't
about
possibly want to know that. He's not famous enough for the world to want to know that.
I didn't know he was talking about.
Because my side of the world doesn't want to know that.
I don't
See,
my side of the world.
Here's the thing.
What happened, man?
A lot of times, what liars do first is they set up a narrative and a scenario. Like Michael Blackson just got on national TV and told people, yeah, I got a beef with Katt Williams, and Katt is mad at me about this, and because I said this, and I didn't even mean it like that. And the whole time, he's never talked to me. That's how he feels. He's heard I'm angry. I've not had a conversation with him. It's the same with your Ali Sadiq. If it wasn't for the information that I know in my intel, I would be a fan of his like everybody else. Who wouldn't be a fan of a young black storyteller that's done time and loves his family and is a hometown guy? Like, why would he ever have any enemies in comedy? It's ludicrous. Right. But if you pick the actual king, then make sure that your story's correct. Right. And unfortunately, his story's not correct. No matter what he says, he never met me. Right. He made it disrespectful that a security guard that was 6'7" reached over him to pay him, not mentioning the fact that he got paid for not doing anything.
He got paid to not.
Well, let's start at the beginning of the reliant
got
thing.
Paid for
I'm gonna start, and then you can do what you want to do.
Fair enough.
But I think for the sake of the audience knowing, just
tell them
having
who
an
Ali
idea
Sadiq
of what we're
is
talking
first.
about.
Tell them.
Ali Sadiq is a comedian from Houston that's based in Houston.
A very fine comedian.
Very fine comedian. Now,
I know who he was.
Ali said that he went to
Reliant Texas, so that's why
Arena and he was on the same show as you. He showed up, and the security stopped him from entering the building. And they said, and then somebody told him Katt didn't want you to come in. And then at some point, somebody else came and gave him a check. Another security person reached over somebody's shoulder and gave him a check. He said that the people that were the working security locked arms to prevent him from walking inside of the building. And he thought that, you had a problem with him. And he said he didn't know why you had a problem with him. And to this day, he don't know why you have a problem with him. That was
what he said.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if that was the story. So now, if that's the story, then let me see if I got this correct. A guy I've never met was supposed to be doing a show with me. And I got so angry, even though I hadn't met him, that I had security keep him out of the building. See, that's the problem with lies. They're faulty from their inception.
That's
sir.
what I said.
I'm the person in the story that doesn't have a grudge to feel. I don't care why I didn't like Katt Williams. I would get to the bottom of it. This is not one of those stories. First of all, the actual truth of this matter is, every city that I go to, I already have the comedians who are opening up for me. Not just this tour, but for the 17 100 city tours previous to this. I never go to the city and go, hey, do you guys have some comics here? I'd like to add them to my show.
Right.
I just don't do it. I travel with the comedians that are coming to your city. We're one unit and one team when we come. Right. That is to let you understand that no comic was fin to come join us that evening, because there isn't space for it.
Right, makes sense.
I still have to do an hour at the end of this. There's a limited amount of time.
Always.
So we could just start there. Second of all, I don't care where you're from, what the venue is, how cool you are with the people that work there. Katt Williams show means Katt Williams show. That means don't nothing move but the money.
Don't nothing move but the
money. There ain't no loud talking and voice raising and how dare you? How dare you? How
the king is here.
Let me look on the advertisements and see, do I see your name or face, sir, whoever you may be? Where would you even get the entitlement to be having this question? Right. This is like me insisting that the Lakers put me on as a starter. And I won't take no for an answer.
I won't take no for an answer.
It's ridiculous. You don't even play in our league. And that's before I knew who you were. Now that I know who you are, I'm just ashamed because you took something personal that couldn't have been personal. I didn't meet you. Right. That's how it would have gone if I wasn't there, because the truth is, I wasn't there. All of this happened before I got there.
What happened with the check? When the security guy gave him
when
the check?
when I asked what the person had said, I said, well, I don't understand. I don't understand why he's so angry. What did he say to you? He said, I'm supposed to be on this show. I said, well, maybe he was expecting to get some sort of a payment. And now he thinks he doesn't get to get paid because we already have a tour. I wouldn't want that. Pay him for performing.
Show love.
So he got the check of the performer. This is what he's angry about. Imagine the audacity.
The audacity.
Remember, your story is that I'm kicking you the fuck out. Get out and lock arms and don't let him in. And paying you? Make it make sense, King.
And paying you.
Either you're smaller than I think or I'm bigger. Either one. Like, you can't keep positioning the narrative, because that's all this is. This is so that in a conversation in America, there'll be something where he and I are evenly linked.
Right.
And only people in his hometown are floating that narrative.
Right.
Oh, he's a
I'm really him.
Local ass.
You don't believe that there's, under any circumstances, that you and Ali can come to a resolution, just be cool.
Difference.
You've just talked to me. You know I don't have a bone in this.
You don't have no bone.
I don't have a bone in this.
So if I got him on the phone, you talk to him?
You say, look, I don't know about all that.
I would have gave him the celebrity boxing match he asked for if I thought he was a celebrity.
Oh, come on, man. You out there, celebrity. Come on,
sir.
Katt.
I'm not talking. I didn't mean that disparagingly. I meant that in ticket sales, my nigga. Ticket sales. That's what I meant. I'm doing 7,000 in your hometown while you go do 300. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm talking statistics.
Statistics?
I'm talking about the biggest and baddest thing going. And you, a person trying to get in, why would you be mad? It's ridiculous. I'm offended.
Offended.
Yeah.
I'm offended.
I'm offended. Why? Because even if it's celebrity boxing, I need you to sell tickets too.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta add up.
Yeah,
I need you to sell these pay-per-view numbers, my nigga. I know I'm bringing it. It's more people that want to see me get laid out by you.
Talk that talk.
And the fact that an upstanding and righteous gentleman like yourself is in that position with the only thing trying to be righteous in our lane is just more machinations of the devil. You should have a much better backstory when you pick me as an opponent.
You know what, man? I'm glad you at least, addressed it, because
when you talk to
him.
him and tell him what the truth is, he won't be able to refute it. I told you earlier, he doesn't know this. How could he know?
Right.
It's okay for you to think that I'm that way, but there are 30,000 known comedians in America that you could have went to, and they would have told you, this is against my character. I am known for confronting my issue head up, be it Satan or his affiliates.
Right.
I don't care if you 6'6". I don't care if it's 5 of you. I don't care if I'm guaranteed an L. I don't care if you put a gun in my face. I don't care about none of that. I care about doing the right thing as I see it in that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
In that moment.
Man, how did you get on in the first place as far as like with the movie thing? Like, I know I'm skipping over the comedy, but how did you get on with the movie thing? Like, specifically, I want to know about Money Mike. I want to know how you got that role.
Right. So here's the whole thing. Liars always come up with terrible lies. So Ricky Smiley says, yeah, Katt was supposed to play the Santa Claus and I was supposed to play the pimp.
I like how he just, excuse me, he could have easily said, I came up with Money Mike like this, like that, like this, like that. But he's very careful. He takes a breath.
Yeah,
when he's talking, he thinks through, and he just alleviated all the BS. Right. I don't want to go through this story, so you get to this question. Yeah. I'm gonna just answer the question that you're trying to ask me.
Right.
This is what happened with the Ricky Smiley.
This is what you're leading up to.
This is what you're leading, and he just fills in all the blanks. I like how he does that.
And we did the Ice Cube. When Ice Cube talked about this, because that was Ice Cube movie, and Ice Cube said Ricky Smiley was the pimp to begin with, but he didn't do a good job at it at all. They said, hey, you be the Santa Claus, and they let Katt Williams be the pimp because he killed it.
Yeah, he said he killed it every day.
Yeah, you could tell. It was a classic movie
classic role.
because of him.
Yes.
Liars always have ridiculous narratives. Nobody in America can imagine that a real movie studio would cast 5'5", 145-pound Katt Williams as fucking Santa Claus, number one. Number two, Ricky Smiley was finna play a pimp. Really? Ricky Smiley has played a woman more times than Ricky Smiley has played a man.
It's crazy.
He's played Bernice Jenkins 5 times. I got it in my contract that I don't work with Ricky Smiley unless he's playing Miss Bernice Jenkins.
Get out of here, man. That's in your contract for real?
I make my contracts, sir. When you're the master of your masters, everything else is subservient. That's why we have control. That's why we're hated, because there's something to hate. But anyway,
something to hate.
So Money Mike, this is my first audition, not just my first movie. It's my first audition. The reason it was so great is because they allowed me to do what I wanted to do, and I needed to do things. So I needed to pick the wardrobe for the character. So Money Mike's wardrobe was impeccable because I designed it, and they made it so. I picked out the car, the color of the car. They had a guy playing a pimp. I need this to be an actual pimp. We need Bishop Magic Don Juan. Everything I had to do.
Netflix need to put it back in rotation.
Me and KD Albert, who played Donna, and Terry Crews. It was all of our first project, and my job was to make sure that we came off as if we were seasoned actors. And so I put everything I had into that movie, to the point where in the script, Money Mike is raped in the bathroom. Katt Williams changed that. Why? Because it's no way.
And Ice Cube on that point said that it was never something that was supposed to be filmed. So with that one, it's kind of a gray area because that's what he said. But remember, Ice Cube said, "Nah, I never had that in the scene. I never made movies like that. All my movies be on some comedy. It don't really be on that type of material."
Because he even said if it was in there, it stayed in there.
Yeah,
But,
that's what he said.
Yeah, he was like, but nah, that wasn't in there.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Katt? There's no way. What are you saying? I'm saying in a place that small, I'm not rapeable. I don't care what has to happen. That's what will happen.
Right.
And so that's how it changed and became a great movie. And just the thought process that maybe Ricky Smiley was going to do that, it is laughable. But yeah, that was going to be my only movie. So I had to do everything that I could do to make sure that it went the way I needed it to. And I've done that in every one of the 60 movie roles that I've done and the 50 network television roles.
Man, I'm glad you stood on that, man, because it's a lot of people who would not have. People get blinded by that bread,
easily
man,
persuaded.
that opportunity.
What's the bag?
And for you to stand
How much is
on
the
that
bag?
says a lot.
All right.
Because I know Terry Crews would have probably enjoyed it, in real life.
Oh, bless his heart. Bless
Really
his heart.
needs a bah! Old school. So, Terry.
Now,
Even Katt laughed. He had to take a breath real quick.
how did you get this knack for comedy in the first place? Like you had a pretty tumultuous childhood. Like, how do you pivot from that and get into comedy?
Right.
I didn't find it to be tumultuous.
So at the time,
I was
you
just
was living it.
I
You
was
was
just
like,
living
you
it.
didn't see it
Yeah,
like
this is
that.
not tumultuous.
Okay.
But your question was, how did I?
How did you find comedy?
A lot of times you have the true appreciation for something when you're not trying to do it.
Yeah, I say he got the compass on his bracelet.
You
too.
just like
I ain't
it.
peeped that.
On the ring.
So
I know, right here on the bracelet.
that's the relationship that I had with music, and it was the relationship that I had with comedy. So musically, I could listen to Pearl Jam
Yeah.
and the Ghetto Boys. Like, I could listen to
The Ghetto Boys.
Nine
Listen to
Inch
Willie
Nails, and I could listen to Prince. And I could do that. And comedically, I found that I could do that too. It didn't matter what the comedy person looked like, or how they were built, or where they were from. If they were funny, I was going to be able to tell. So I understood that Don Knotts was out there working his ass off as Barney Fife. I understood he wasn't doing the same job as the rest of them. I understood that laughter is an emotion, and anytime you can tap an emotion, that's very powerful.
Definitely.
Regardless of what emotion you're tapping.
Facts.
When you're tapping these emotions, before you deliver the joke, are you cognizant of what it's going to take to deliver that joke? Like, are you already knowing that I know for a fact I don't have to practice this? They're going to be with this right here. When I say this, I'm going to get them.
Right.
As a comedian, I have the best fan base in the world, documented.
You do.
The slight amount of advertisement that they allowed me to do, and the fact that in a place as glorious as Houston, they pack the arena to the rafters, is based upon the fact that I, in 1995, started a conversation with a fan base which was maybe 5 people.
Wow.
And through this entire time, I've kept up the same conversation with the same people as they grow. And I'm letting you see me win. I'm letting you see me lose.
Right.
I'm never allowing the product to be affected by what's going on.
Facts.
Because this is the greatest relationship here. So, yeah, consequently, bam, they know some things when I come to town. They know I'm finna bring the baddest comedians with me. That's who's gonna be opening up. They know this.
Right.
All over the country. And then they know that whatever it is Katt's gonna talk about for an hour, they know he did not talk about this the last time he was here.
Facts.
They know
Man,
that.
how in the hell do comedians get away with that anyway? Because I'm not going to see the same comedian tell the same jokes, 100 times in a row.
You let a rapper rap the same songs though,
Right.
and you let a singer sing the same songs, the classics, and you'll allow that. And so
Yeah, but funny is supposed to be spontaneous. So that's the difference.
Well, understand that comedy has its roots long before social media. So before social media, you might have heard that this comedian is funny, right? And somebody might have told you what he said,
Right.
but it didn't sound that funny to you. They just told you what he said. But when you see him in person, oh, he's hilarious.
Right.
And so comedy always had a cycle where you showed the whole circuit your body of work.
Yeah.
It's just comedians had gotten so lazy that they were doing one great set that they had on Comic View or Def Jam, and they were touring that for 15 years without changing it. And so
15 years.
we
Damn.
made it a part of our effort to push the fact
material.
that you should be
You gotta keep it
writing
vibrant.
new material and shaming
Energetic.
the community into it by just, I'm going to keep putting out these specials and it's new material. How long are you going to continue to tell these jokes? Because in a minute, the audience is going to be like, no, they got to say something new. And eventually the audience did do that.
Right.
And
But-
so
Well, some audiences show up and they want you to say the old joke. They demand that you tell the old joke.
The old joke.
I don't have not one of those people in my fan base because they know better. They know that I would never let you pay me so you can hear some shit I already said.
Oh, you seen on a
I
special.
respect you too much for that. What you gonna get from me is brand new.
Right.
This is new.
This is new.
Right now you have 12 comedy specials.
Okay.
Talk to the top.
Is there a magic number in mind, or you just want to just keep running to make sure you got the all-time number and that's secure for? Oh, you already at
long
the
as you
top?
can.
You got
I'm
you got more.
I'm
than
in no
anybody?
way I'm in
I'm
no
not number
way
chasing.
counting numbers.
Let them know.
You've done.
I'm saying if 12 is the most, if 12 was the most, there's not a number because I'm not putting a number to it.
Right.
But I've been special that many times
Right.
Okay.
for an hour.
17 tours.
Straight
100
TV.
cities.
Let's get it.
That is a.
This is Lamar Wilson here representing Ghetto Action News Network _, all lower cases.
No spaces.
And you can find us on Facebook. And when you do, follow the page, like the page, share the page, and come back. I'm going to get right into this. We're sitting here watching a piece of Willie D live
Yeah.
with Katt Williams. This was hard. I thought
Yeah.
this was a dope interview. I think it was led well.
Yeah.
I like the way Katt responds to things.
Yeah.
He really takes the time to take a breath, take a moment,
To think.
clarity, think. I think that's dope, man. Not enough people do that. Just from my personal experiences in life, and I like the way he hasn't backpedaled on anything.
No, we haven't.
He's standing 10 toes down, and letting you know this wasn't for a moment. This is my reality, and I can't do nothing but respect that. I thought this was a fun watch. What do you think?
I think this was a good interview. I'm glad that Katt Williams is out here doing an interview to let people see that he does have a bright mind, does got dope ideology, and he got a great perspective on life. You could tell he went through stuff at a lot of age, but the stuff that he went through molded him into the man that he was. I didn't know at so young he was so smart. I didn't know at so young he was homeless. I didn't know at young he had to go through so much. But when you know what he went through, then you understand why you have this man that is sitting in front of you today. So it was great learning from that. It was a good interview from Willie D. Can't wait to do more from these guys. But until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.